Good evening. We begin tonight with more changes to public transit in Ottawa. As OC Transpo deals with an aging bus fleet and maintenance issues, the transit service is cutting hundreds of trips and putting fewer buses on the roads. CTV's Kimberley Johnson has more.
Levi Malloy is waiting for the 86 bus, but it's more than half an hour late.
It's luckily sunny out, but I'm on my way to church, but apparently going to be really late.
It's a trip that should take 20 minutes, but he says delays are not unusual.
I like the O train, and I encourage people to take it, but the buses have been honestly just kind of unreliable.
OC Transpo says that it has temporarily canceled 255 regular weekday trips as it deals with a bus shortage, aging fleet, and maintenance issues. On Friday, a memo to the city by Transit Services states that means there are 20 fewer buses on the roads. The move comes after hundreds of bus trips were canceled this month, leaving passengers waiting in the cold.
What that's resulting in right now is buses that are just not showing up. And that has some really staggering real-world implications for people who rely on transit to get around.
Councillor Jeff Leeper says the plan is meant to help riders have a more reliable, consistent schedule until the city can add more buses to its fleet.
It's highly unlikely that we can throw a bunch of money at the problem and fix it within, a few weeks. We really need those zero-emission buses to begin arriving much more quickly in the city, and that's something that we just have to wait for.
Leeper says the changes could be in effect until spring or summer. OC Transpo is also working to hire more mechanics. Some transit users question whether the changes will make a difference.
I'd have to see it with my own eyes to believe it.
That's ridiculous. It's cold out here. It's real cold. This is not LA. It's not LA. We can't have people elderly people waiting at the bus.
There's already such a long wait in between buses that I don't think it would be such a great idea.
Kimberley Johnson, CTV News.
2 people have been taken to hospital after Ottawa fire crews responded to a low-rise apartment fire Sunday evening in Kitchissippi. Multiple 911 calls came in just after 6 o'clock this evening for reports of flames coming from a window of the building on the 60 block of Armstrong Street. Once on scene, firefighters rescued 1 person from the building. Ottawa paramedics say they transported 1 adult male to hospital in critical condition, and about an hour later, they transported another adult male in stable condition. The fire was declared under control just before 6:30. Victim services was dispatched to the scene. Now, the cause of the fire is under investigation. All right, we'll take our first check of weather. Again, a look at the Rideau Canal. Again, lots of people out and about on the canal this weekend. A live look through our Centennial Glass sky cam. Partly cloudy this evening. Tonight's low expected to head down to -16. And the city, they're enforcing another parking ban tonight. Snow clearing efforts are happening right now until 7 a.m. Monday morning. The city says parking permit holders are not exempt from snow removal operations, and it will result in a ticket. Vehicles in prohibited areas will be towed to a nearby street. Let's take a look at what's happening here in the overnight hours. Again, some light snow we'll be dealing with. Same thing for your Monday, and then on Tuesday we could see more of the sun peeking out, a mix of sun and cloud for there. For the next 24 hours, again, we'll be dealing with some light flurries throughout the area. Again, waking up to about -12 in the morning. Could see a high at about -7 for the day. Well, skating is limited to a small section of the Rideau Canal Skateway tonight as crews inspect the Bronson Bridge. Skaters could be seen trickling under the bridge today as city crews inspected the bridge. The Director of Infrastructure Services tells CTV News that the city received a call about a small piece of concrete that may have fallen from the bridge. Now, the city says the bridge is safe and there are no concerns regarding its integrity. Again, the section of the skateway was fenced off out of an abundance of caution. As Ottawa's population grows, so does the need for housing. A developer is planning to build a 28-story high-rise just on the edge of downtown, overlooking Retton Frats. CTV's Peter Sperling has the details.
Ottawa is growing taller.
There's obviously a lot of growth, a lot of building going on around here.
Tom Volo recently moved to the city to the Centertown West neighborhood, where residents are now hearing details of a proposed 28-story building at Bronson and Laurier.
There's already a lot of tall buildings in this area. Yeah. 28 stories might be a bit more than a lot of what you'd see on the west side of Bronson.
The City of Ottawa has received an official plan and zoning bylaw amendment application to allow the high-rise.
It's a great location. That's why we're there.
The plan calls for 326 residential units and 94 underground parking spaces.
It's a big building, and it's the configuration of it is what excited me the most because it's really unusual and it'll stand out, right on the edge of the entrance to the downtown core.
The location right on the edge of the escarpment next to LeBreton Flats.
Oversees the library, the new home of the senators, and it's a great location.
And adjacent to an existing heritage building, the Alexander Fleck House, which the developer says will be preserved.
We engaged architectural companies to give us advice on how to do the preservation. It'll need quite a bit of work.
That is probably my favorite part of the idea.
Area residents mixed on the development.
I think that there's a benefit to people actually living in downtown Ottawa. I don't feel great about there being large construction projects happening all over downtown, especially if they're going to be disrupting traffic.
I think 28 stories is very high as well for being sitting up on a hill.
If they're affordable, then sure.
I'm not sure that's what people are really looking for. I think they're more looking for houses rather than apartments.
The area councillor says the city is planning to do a public consultation before the plan goes to committee in March. Peter Sperling, CTV News.
Well, residents in Ottawa's Alta Vista neighborhood are doing a lot more looking up these days. A murder of crows has taken over the winter skyline, delighting some and frustrating others. CTV's Josh Morano explains.
Tens of thousands of crows have called the suburbs of Alta Vista home for the past few days.
Even when they've been in my next door neighbors, it hasn't bothered me.
But for Catherine Campbell, it's a refreshing sight.
I always thought they just went over to the general hospital area, but now I see them in the neighborhood and they'll just congregate in a few trees, and it's fascinating.
According to residents, it's not uncommon to see crows roosting nearby this time of year, but it's usually in forests and parks, not on their streets, and not nearly this many.
Late November, December, they start coming in, and they used to congregate all the way over by Saint Laurent Boulevard, and then for the last week or two, they've been roosting right here in the trees.
It's beautiful. I'm from the country, so seeing nature, it's nice, and especially cold weather like this, we're all stuck inside. It feels good.
According to Environment Canada, crows roost in winter for warmth and safety, and residential neighborhoods offer tall trees, fewer predators, and easy access to food.
Received quite a lot of videos and some feedback from residents just concerned about finding dead crows or largely the excrement that's being found. We are lucky to have such nature here in the community, and I think most residents feel that way. They're just a bit frustrated by the current situation.
They aren't the only birds that skip migration, but they are some of the loudest and most visible.
It's a love-hate relationship at this point, especially when I saw my car in the morning.
While the birds are a special sight, what they leave behind in the mornings, not so much.
It's kind of dangerous with the snowfall coming and covering the bird poop and kids being out to play. It's I don't know how they can get rid of them. Not that I want to get rid of them, but I just want them to move on.
Josh Morano, CTV News.
Well, after celebrating 30 years of playing in the Canadian Tire Centre, the Ottawa Senators looking to brush off an overtime loss last night. The Sens on the road for the next 3 games starting this afternoon against the Detroit Red Wings.
Detroit up ahead for Kopp to the Bricket, moves it and shoots.
And a little deja vu for the Sens, falling in the first 30 seconds of overtime for the second game in a row. Detroit skates away with the 4-3 overtime win. Sunday's game, also the debut for 37-year-old James Reimer in the net with 19 saves on 23 shots. The Sens now head to Columbus to play the Blue Jackets on Tuesday.
They got it to a prime scoring place. Here's D.
Caleb Deesh scoring his second goal of the season as the 67s even the score against the Petes this afternoon at TD Place Arena. The Barbara Poles would go on to take this one 5-2 over Peterborough. And with this win, Ottawa is back on top of the Eastern standings in the OHL. The 67s back on home ice next Saturday when they host the Oshawa Generals. And the Ottawa Charge have acquired 3 Walter Cup champions in a 6-player trade with the Vancouver Golden Eyes. On Sunday, the Charge acquired forwards Michaela Cava and Brooke McQuiggy and defender Emma Greco from the Golden Eyes in exchange for forwards Manon McMahon, Anna Meixner and Anna Shahena. The three players acquired by Ottawa all won the inaugural Alta Cup titles as members of the Ottawa Frost. Well, the Canadian men's national team played their first match of 2026 last night in LA, taking on Guatemala.
Play this style of football. Henry rounds the corner, the header's on and in!
Jason Russell-Rowe puts it past the keeper in the 65th minute. That was the only goal of the game as Canada beat Guatemala 1-0. The friendly match didn't have any FIFA implications, and the Canadians, they have several matches leading up to the World Cup in June, including 2 against unannounced opponents in Toronto in late March. And a bit of Atletico Ottawa history was made in last night's game. In the second half, Noah Batnev comes the first active Ottawa Atletico player to feature for Canada's men's team at the senior level. All right, coming up, we'll have a look at how some people enjoyed the winter weather this weekend. Plus, we'll take an extended look at your forecast. Well, here's a look at the Queensway this evening. East and westbound traffic on the 417 moving much better than it did when we were dealing with all that snowfall. The road's clear, but again, so far this evening, things are moving quite well if you need to be out and about. All right, we'll take our extended look at the forecast tonight. We were dealing with a milder day for those who are enjoying the winter weather right across the capital region. Not as windy as it was for the past couple of days. Here's a look at the Rideau Canal today. Reopened on Friday afternoon, as you can see. So many people, thousands enjoying the skating conditions this weekend. We've also got a look at the Rideau Falls off of Sussex Drive. Again, a nice walk if you're out to enjoy that. So we'll take a look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. Tonight's low, we're heading down to -16, partly cloudy for the evening. We'll take a look at the satellite radar right now, and things are looking like this. We've got some overcast skies to deal with and some light flurries throughout the region that will be sticking with us into most of your Monday. It looks like on Tuesday we'll be seeing some of the sun peeking out. Overnight lows here for the Ottawa area, -12, -10 for Cornwall, -11 for the Bancroft area. Again, light flurries that we're dealing with across the region as well. We've got -8 along the rest of the Seaway, -17, the coldest spot there in Pembroke, -11 for Gatineau, same thing for Maniwaki and Petawawa, -10 for Montreal, -9 for the Kemptville area, and -14 for those toward Mont-Tremblant. Now, as for your highs for tomorrow on your Monday, -6 for Ottawa, -5 and 6 right along the Seaway as well, -7 for Bancroft, -8 for Kitigan-Zibi and for Pembroke. We're looking at -8 for Petawawa and Maniwaki, -7 for Mont-Tremblant, Gatineau and Kemptville, and -5 for the Montreal area. Here's a quick look at what's happening for the next 7 days ahead. Again, for Monday, we have mainly cloudy skies, some flurries to deal with, a high of -6, a low of -12. Then on Tuesday, a mix of sun and cloud, -12 will be the high, -17 the low. And then more flurries will roll in Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Opportunity to come and look for that geek item that you're missing.
Comic book and pulp culture fans suit up for cosplay and collectibles at the winter edition of the Ottawa Comic-Con over at the EY Centre. Well, the winter edition of Ottawa Comic-Con took place this weekend at the EY Centre, drawing in thousands of comic fans to indulge in all things gaming and comic related. CTV's Camille Wilson was there.
From a galaxy not so far away to a wide range of comics, collector items, and costumes, all at the winter edition of Ottawa Comic-Con. Alexandre Lascelles-Breton attends every year.
This is a cosplay of Naked Snake from Metal Gear Solid 3. Metal Gear Solid is a series of games.
It's an Adult Swim show.
Fans showcasing their best cosplay as their favorite characters.
I'm dressed as Nefer from Genshin Impact.
I'm dressed as Raven from Teen Titans.
Even some made up.
I'm dressed up not as the actual character, but as like something that I think he would wear. It's CL Phantom Hive from Black Butler. I'm like steampunk, so it's not really a necessary character, but it's just like the theme of steampunk.
The pop culture fan convention with more than 150 vendors, art, video games, graphic novels, and replicas.
Opportunity to come and look for that geek item that you're missing. Maybe it's a Funko Pop, maybe it's a Labubu, because those were things for a bit. Poster, whatever you're looking for in that sense. So anything geek related.
I come to most cons because my family's watched anime and stuff for many years, as well as we're into the geeky stuff.
I got into superheroes and stuff like that because that's how me and my dad bonded.
Not only a shopping day, but a time to meet new friends.
I can meet new people that have the same interests as me. I can meet beautiful cosplayers that cosplay from the same video game as me or same anime.
For Alexander, it's not just about meeting new people, but showing off his creativity.
I love making costumes. It's really my hobby. But if I just made them and didn't share them with anyone, it wouldn't be much point. So I love being able to go and show what I've made and interact with people, see other people, their amazing costumes, and just enjoy the atmosphere.
Camille Wilson, CTV News.
We know that modern vehicles, especially electric vehicles, are essentially rolling computers.
All right, after the break, we'll have more on the cybersecurity concerns as Canada prepares to import more Chinese electric vehicles. Well, get ready to potentially start seeing ads with your conversation with ChatGPT. OpenAI announced it's going to start testing advertisements on its popular chatbot. Now, this comes as the company looks to increase revenue. Critics have raised privacy concerns, but the tech giant says ads won't influence the answers that ChatGPT offers, and user conversations will remain private from advertisers. Well, some car enthusiasts in Canada are eagerly waiting to see when they could get behind the wheel of a new Chinese electric vehicle after the federal government signed a deal with the Asian nation. Prime Minister Mark Carney calling it an opportunity for Ontario and auto workers. But as CTV's Natalie Van Woy reports, experts fear what the move could bring for Canadians' personal data.
We've got massive screens, which is great.
Jeff Brown drives a Hyundai electric vehicle, but he wouldn't trade it in even if there were cheaper options from China.
I'd rather not, but given what's happening in the United States, it seems to me that Trump is trying to kill our industry one way or the other, so we have to look at options. And they're a good option. I've been in other countries and they have Chinese EVs and they seem to be functioning well there.
Canada and China signed a deal on Friday. A senior government source told CTV News that 49,000 Chinese electric vehicles will be allowed to enter Canada at a reduced tariff rate of 6.1% starting March 1st.
This is an opportunity for Ontario. It's an opportunity for Ontario workers, opportunity for Canada, done in a controlled way.
But experts are raising concerns about data.
We know that modern vehicles, especially electric vehicles, are essentially rolling computers. And so they are collecting massive amounts of data as we drive them.
There are questions around where that data is going and who has access to it.
China is a country that doesn't subscribe to the same rules of cybersecurity, of intellectual property, of copyright, and is often the case. They will install backdoors in systems that allow them to siphon off information.
Brown says data security is also his primary concern.
That's my principal concern.
While the vehicles may be cheaper, there are also concerns that allowing Chinese EVs into Canada could have an impact on the domestic market.
Clear focus on competition, but also what's the business model that's going to be taking place. Auto dealers, they represent more than 160,000 jobs in Canada.
Natalie Van Roy, CTV News.
Final showcasing the two most talked about prospects in the world. Canada's Shane Hollander.
Well, coming up, are you a fan of the show Heated Rivalry and wondered where you can get your hands on a Shane Hollander or Ilya Rozanov jersey? Well, here in Ottawa, you won't have to go that far. We'll explain after the break.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
All right, we'll take a look at your wake-up weather here for the Ottawa area. Some flurries will be dealing with the overnight, -9 your wake-up weather, partly cloudy in the overnight hours, continuing into your Monday. So Monday again, -6 the high, partly cloudy right throughout the day with some flurries. Some sunshine on Tuesday, -12 will be the high. But then on Wednesday and Thursday, more of the flurries will roll in with a mix of sun and cloud on Friday. But right throughout the week, we'll be looking at some milder temperatures, not too cold until we reach next weekend. Well, with rumors that season 2 of Crave's hit series Heated Rivalry will be set in Ottawa, well, the Ottawa Senators Hockey Club saw an opportunity to have some fun and do some good for the community. These photos were taken at Saturday night's Sens game at the Sens store in the CTC. The Ottawa Senators Hockey Club had some Shane Hollander and Ilya Rozanov jerseys, 2 of the main characters from the series. They were printed up before the game, and they sold out before the end of the first period. Now, Sens fans can get any of the team's home, away, or alternate jerseys customized on the Sens store and online. And all proceeds from the Rozanov and Hollander jerseys, well, they're going to Ottawa Pride Hockey. That is awesome. Absolutely awesome. I love that show. I'd get a Shane Hunter jersey, though, if I had to choose. That's CTV News for this Sunday, January the 18th. CTV News continues online anytime with our digital team, keeping you up to date at ctvnewsottawa.ca. You can also watch our newscast live on the CTV News app anytime. For all of us here at CTV News, thank you so much for watching. Have a great night. I'll see you sometime during the week.